What's going on YouTube? This is ParkerLad88 coming at you with another video. Today I've got a deck profile for you guys. Definitely haven't done one of these in a while. But with Shining Victories coming out, there have been a whole bunch of updates to decks with new cards and new decks that I want to, complete and try out, and this is going to be the first of them. So get ready for a bunch of deck profile videos. But anyway, this is going to be Lunalights, or as I call them, Sisterhood of the Moonlight. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get started with the main deck. We're going to get started with our monster lineup. The first monster we run is 3 copies of Lunalight Tiger. Definitely a good monster. So what this thing does, it has basically 2 monster reborn effects. The first one, its pendulum effect, says that you can target 1 Lunalight monster in your graveyard and special summon it back to the field. Its effects are negated, it can't attack, and then it is destroyed during the end phase. So while this deck might not have a lot of search power or a lot of means of getting resources to your hand, it does make up for that with the ability to recycle cards from the graveyard, either by special summoning or getting them back, what have you. But anyway, this is a really good card for helping you do that. Next up, we run 3 copies of Lunalight Black Sheep. I think Lunalight Black Sheep is the best card in this deck. So what it does is you can toss it in order to add a Lunalight monster. Or it's a card. Let me actually look really quick. It's monster. You can add a Lunalight monster back to your hand if you discard this, or you can use it to search for polymerization. Mostly what you're going to be doing is using this to search polymerization, because it has another effect that says when you use it as fusion material, you can grab a Lunalight from your graveyard or from your extra deck, since some of them are pendulums, and add it back to your hand. So it kind of gives you a way to recycle some resources out your graveyard. It's definitely really good because this effect is not once per turn. It combos really well with another card in this deck, which I will get to later. Moving on to what I think is the second best card as far as monsters go in the main deck, and that is Lunalight White Rabbit. So what Lunalight White Rabbit does is on normal summon, it lets you basically special summon a Lunalight monster, any of them, including the fusions as well, provided you, summon them properly, back to your field. It also has another effect that says that you can target spell and trap cards on your opponent's side of the field, equal to the number of other Lunalight monsters, so not counting itself, and you can put them back in the hand. It's really nice because people want to save, like, their solemns and their summoning deterrents, stuff like that, for for your big pushes and whatnot. And a lot of people overlook this effect, so when you summon this back to the field, never forget to activate that ability to send those cards back to hand, because it either forces them to use them right then and there, like if they have a strike or something, they have to waste it on this thing before you actually go for your big plays, or, they just can't use their spell and traps, and you can go ahead and push for your big plays. So definitely a good card. I like this card a lot. Next up, we have our Miracle Fusion in the form of Lunalight Wolf. You run 3 of this because you can't search it with tanky, because you run 3 tanky in this deck because all Beast Warriors and whatnot. But yep, it's at level 6, so we can't search it. So we want to make sure that, we get this when we need it, so we run it at 3. And then, anyway, that's its pendulum effect. But it also has a nifty little monster effect that says that, your Lunalights do piercing if you ever special summon this to the field for some reason. But anyway. Next up, we have 3 copies of Blue Cat. I'm actually going to replace 2 of these with Crimson Fox whenever that comes out, whenever we get that. So what this thing does is when it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a Lunalight from your deck, so it gives you an option to go and get Wolf. I don't like running this card at 3 because I don't feel like there are a lot of good targets for it. Which is why I want to, cut it down to 1 and just run the other 2, but you're mostly going to be using this as one of your fusion materials. It also has another ability that says whenever it's special summoned to the field, you can target one of your other Lunalights and double its original attack, so that's a thing. Next up, we have Purple Butterfly. I do like Purple Butterfly because what you can do is you can toss it from your hand to the graveyard during your turn to target one of your Lunalights and give it a 1,000 extra attack. In the graveyard, you can banish it to special summon one of your Lunalights from hand. So basically, you banish this and you special summon Blue Cat, and Blue Cat, gives the power boost to whatever. I like Lunalight Purple Butterfly because in addition to just making your fusions beefy, it also makes your regular monsters beefy too. So if your opponent has a field that you can't get over using your extra deck, you can just be like, cool, I'm going to summon Blue Cat or, what have you, and then, pump it with this, makes it 26, all of a sudden they can beat over your problems and you can go ahead and get off your plays. Anyway, so that does it for all the Lunalight monsters. Moving into support monsters, we run 1 copy of Brotherhood of the Fire Fist there. Firefist Bear. All of a sudden, the name makes sense. You know, other Beast Warrior archetype and Brotherhood of the Firefist did it first, so Sisterhood of the Moonlight, you know, female counterparts and whatnot. But anyway, Bear Pop, it will always be good, and, you know, being able to, you know, get a free tanky off some damage is always good. So I think Bear at 1 is good. It can get you out of some problem situations. I don't want to use my normal summon on it if I don't have to, but, yeah, Bear Pop is good. Next up, we have a little Draco Slayer engine in here. We run 1 copy of Master and we run 1 copy of Luster, and we use them for the same reason. We use it in order to blow up this, because this thing functions very similar to Plush Fire in its monster effect. Its monster effect says that whenever this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon any Lunalight monster from your graveyard, you know, just as a free monster. So ideally, we want, you know, Luster Pendulum the Draco Slayer. So we play this, we can activate this thing's ability to it's a pendulum ability to special summon a monster from the graveyard with all the restrictions and whatnot, and then we blow it up, get another monster out, search this, and we can play it again and special summon another one, so it's pretty good. All the Lunalight monsters, most of them have either like soft once per turns, or you can just use the effects as many times as you want, except for this thing's monster effect, because that would just be, I guess, a little too stupid. But anyway, we run Master and Luster in order to get off that effect. I really don't like Master, but it works out. If I could run 2 of this, I wouldn't. I'm sure a lot of people would in their Pendulum decks, but this works out. I like it. And then, of course, we run Max C. We have the space for Max C. This deck, you know, like a lot of Fusion decks, use up hand resources pretty quickly, and Max C will always be good against the meta. So, yeah. So we're just going to push all that stuff up there, and we're going to move into our spell count. Naturally, we run 3 copies of Polymerization. We don't have as many ways to search this or get this back, so we maximize it at 3. Being able just to go Black Sheep search for polymerizations and stuff like that is really good. And the fact that Black Sheep can search them so quickly means you don't have to worry about dead drawing into this, because you can just like deck thin it so quickly. Next up, we run the obligatory 3 copies of Fire Formation Tanky in super rare form, of course, because we can't afford those ultimate rares. Searches for any of our Beast Warriors, except for Wolf, of course. The main one that you're going to go for mostly is Black Sheep, but, you know, you just look at your hand and decide, do I want a Black Sheep, do I want a White Rabbit, or do I want a Tiger, and, you know, just work it out from there. 3 copies of Dark Eruption. Dark Eruption, for you guys don't know, it says that you add 1 Dark monster to your hand with 1500 or less attack. We have plenty of targets for that, but once again, the main one you're going to be using is Black Sheep. Black Sheep effect is not once per turn, so you just, you know, Black Sheep, Dark Eruption it back, Black Sheep again, so on and so forth. For extra recur ability, we use the 2 copies of Fusion Recovery. You basically target one of your fusion materials that we used for a fusion summon, a polymerization, add it back to hand. You really go through polymerization quickly in this deck because of the way that it works. The idea is that you essentially level up your fusions, you know, 1 by 1, so you can kind of eat through polymerization pretty quick. So this kind of helps you, you know, get that back and still have some hand advantage. Next up, we run 2 copies of MST. I know, I still run MST in a couple of my decks because not every deck that I run can actually benefit from Twin Twister. So I'd rather side in a Twin Twister or something like that. But anyway, we got 2 MSTs in secret rare form. Very beautiful. 1 copy of Fusion Sage. Unlike Fluffles, this deck doesn't have a million ways to search polymerization. Your really only way of searching for polymerization is through Black Sheep. But at the same time, we don't want it, like, you know, so much there it becomes cloggy. So we have the 3 polymerizations, the 3 Black Sheeps, and then of course the 1 Fusion Sage. And then the last spell we run is 1 copy of Cattle Calling. Cattle Calling basically allows you to skip a step as far as your Lunalight upgrades go. The combo that you do, I'll actually show when I get into the extra deck and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that does it for our spells. So we're going to go ahead and move those up there. Trap lineup is really simple. We run the 3 summoning deterrents in the form of Solemn, Bottomless, and Strike. And then we have 1 copy of Lunalight Reincarnation Dance, which basically says when any of your monsters are destroyed, you search for 2 Lunalights. It's pretty good when you get it off. I wish this was like a spell or something else just to make the deck a little bit quicker. But, beggars can't be choosers. But, you know, it's okay. This actually has some good combos, once again, with Luster Pendulum or Master Pendulum, where, you know, you play... Well, actually, no, wait, no, it doesn't. I'm sorry. But anyway, you can still... If for some reason, like, one of your monsters be destroyed, you can just search. So yeah, just ignore that little part that I said. If you could combo that with the pendulums in the pendulum zone, that'd be pretty sick, but anyway. Let's go ahead and move into our extra deck. I'm gonna alter this around a little bit. I wanna go from the smallest to the biggest. So we're gonna start off with our 3 copies of Lunalight Cat Dancer. So, Lunalight Cat Dancer, what she does is she can't be destroyed by battle, and then you contribute a monster to have her attack all of your opponent's monsters twice. All of the fusions have this weird little thing that they can do, where it's like the first time you would attack into an opponent's monster, they're not destroyed, but then the second time, they get destroyed. So it really allows you to pack on the damage with these guys, and this deck is all about getting out your fusions, powering them up with like Purple Butterfly and Blue Cat, and just swinging for big damage. Also, every time she declares an attack, you deal 100 extra points of damage to your opponent. I don't know why, but that's just the thing. So I can go ahead and tell you guys about what the combo is with Cattle Calling. So basically, the combo with Cattle Calling, you go for this, and allows you to skip a step and go straight into Panther Dancer, and then you can go into Leo Dancer after that. But basically, what you do, as soon as I can find it, is you're going to need this, and you're going to need this. So you activate Lunalight, the Lunalight Sheep's effect, in order to get a polymerization. Summon the White Rabbit, special summon this back. You activate Cattle Calling, sending off your White Rabbit to summon out Cat Dancer. You polymerization in order to go for Panther Dancer, and then you can use Black Sheep's ability in order to get your White Rabbit back to hand so you can, keep field presence. While we're on that, let's go ahead and move into Black Panther. Black Panther is probably my favorite. It's kind of the best of both worlds. It's not as strong as Leo Dancer, but it's stronger than Cat Dancer. Can't be destroyed by card effects, and then it just naturally has the ability to attack all your opponent's monsters twice with that whole, it doesn't get destroyed by battle, blah, 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 blah. You don't need to know all that. You can read the whole effect, but anyway, so yeah, it has that whole ability where it can attack twice into your opponent's monsters. Every time it destroys an opponent's monster, it gains 200 extra attack until the end of the battle phase. Can't be destroyed by card effects, and yeah, and you need Cat Dancer and one Lunalight in order to go into it. I like this one. It's the middle ground. And then next up we have the boss, the Ace Monster, in the form of 2 copies of Leo Dancer. Leo Dancer cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. It can attack all of your opponent's monsters twice. Or, sorry, it can just attack twice, period. It just attacks twice, period. And at the end of the damage step, you can destroy all of your opponent's special summon monsters. So the fact that you can get just, 2 attacks just right off the bat, got that Blade Armor Ninja effect, is really, really cool. It takes 2 Lunalights and then Panther Dancer, so you can kind of see how, they all upgrade into each other and, that kind of thing. Let's see, last fusion is we have Dynaster the Mighty Draco Slayer. At least I think that's its entire name, because as you can see there is no name, so it's a mystery fusion. But anyway, this basically prevents your pendulum scales from being destroyed by your opponent or targeted or whatever the heck this thing does. I just like having the option to have this guy around. He's got really good defense, and we are running a couple of Draco Slayers, so it's just like, why not? Then moving into our Xyz, we have Utopia the Lightning, Dr. Smiles, Castel, Abyss Dweller, and then of course, because we're running Beast Warriors, we have the 1 copy of Brotherhood of the Fire Fist King Taiga King. You go Xyz for this guy, you get a free tanky out of it, and then he skill drains the field for everything that's not Beast Warriors. And since pretty much almost everything in your deck is Beast Warriors, that's really not so much of an issue. So that does it for the extra deck. So guys, this was the entire Lunalight deck. Let me know what you guys think of this deck. I'd love to hear your opinions about it. Maybe you guys have messed around with this deck and you guys have some neato tech choices that you can tell me about. But either way, that was it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is Will Be Parker Lad, out.